Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Tevaron here, and welcome to another episode of Friday Night Magic. This week, we are playing a deck that I am calling Rakdos and Ruin, because it's Rakdos, and hopefully it ruins the opponent. Let's go ahead and go through this deck list quickly here. We are running 4 Thornbow Archers. This may seem a little bit strange in a Rakdos deck, especially since this is mainly a devoid deck with mostly colorless creatures and even a little bit of ingest and processing in it. But this guy is a 1-drop that, if your opponent doesn't have an elf out, hits for 2. So that's pretty good and gives the deck quite a bit more early game. We are also running 4 Sludge Crawler, which is devoid. It ingests, and you can pump it, so it's good in the early, mid, and late game. We are running 4 Perilous Myrs. This is just one of the best utility creatures on Magic Duels. It was that way when the game was released several months ago, and it continues to be, though it has lost a little bit of value with the release of Battle for Zendikar. It's still a really good guy. We're also running 3 Forerunner of Slaughter. This guy can lead to some really degenerate starts with his ability to give colorless creatures haste. We're running 4 Twin Bolts. We're running Twin Bolt over Fiery Impulse for 2 reasons. That is that Twin Bolt can hit your opponent in the face if you need it to. And also, we're not running very many instants and sorceries, so the spell mastery would usually not even be a factor on Fiery Impulse, and I would really just like to have the ability to go to my opponent's dome or to divide the damage if that is relevant. We are running 2 Wasteland Strangler. We don't have a ton of ingest in the deck, but you can usually get the -3/-3 processing effect from Wasteland Strangler, and even if you can't, the 3/2 for 3 is not a bad body, even without the additional effect. We're running 4 Dominator Drone. This guy is also devoid and ingest, and if you have one of your other colorless creatures out, then when he comes into play, your opponent loses 2 life. Vile Aggregate is a 3-of. He is also devoid, and his power is equal to the number of colorless creatures you control, and he has trample and ingest. So he is just an all-around beast when you can get him out and get him going. We're running 4 Read the Bones. For those times that we run out of gas, this will refuel us. 1 Akoum Firebird. We can pretty reliably get to the 6 mana to bring it back with landfall, and it's just a 3/3 evasive haste creature that gets there. 2 Pia and Kiran Nalaar. The more I play with Pia and Kiran, both on this program and in Paper Magic, the more and more impressed I am with them. They are just a great utility and aggressive creature. 4 mana for 4 power and stats, and the ability to sack an artifact and deal 2 damage to a target is just really good. Pia and Kiran are pretty much all-stars. We're running 2 Dust Stalker. This guy is also devoid. He is haste. And also, if you have no other colorless creatures out, he returns to your hand at the end of turn. So in that situation, he is dodging sorcery speed removal as well. And that is the top end of our curve. Our mana base is 7 Swamps, 10 Mountains, 2 Smoldering Marsh, 2 Dragonskull Summit, and 2 Evolving Wilds. I'm running 2 Evolving Wilds because the 23 land in this deck is, in some instances, a little much. You want the 23 land to make sure to hit your first few land drops, and the Evolving Wilds, if you can drop and sack them, will thin your deck out just a little bit. And the reason I'm not running 4 is because I want to minimize the number of comes into play tapped lands that we have in the deck. So I'm not for certain that this is the optimal build of this, but this is what I've come to after testing for a bit. Had a pretty good win-loss ratio with it. Hopefully that will continue throughout the video. Let's get in there and find out. Okay, this is not quite as fast a hand as I would like to have, but it's pretty good with 2 Forerunners and some removal. So I think we cannot really afford to mulligan this hand. We'll go ahead and keep it. Alright. Okay, so our opponent is playing a black-red land off the bat as well. We will be starting off with this Evolving Wilds. Did not want to top deck a 5th land there, but we will sack it, and we will get a mountain. We are a bit heavier on red in the deck with a few double red casting costs on Pia and Kiran. Alright, looks like we're playing against possibly just Jund sort of control. We'll see what he or she fetches with Gate Creeper Vine there. Okay, just another swamp. So we do have to be worried about Languish. But for the moment, we will go ahead and run out our Forerunner of Slaughter. Barring unforeseen developments, we will be able to play our second Forerunner of Slaughter or another creature if we top deck something else and attack with both of these next turn. Ooh, there's Liliana. So most likely Liliana is going to flip here because I really can't afford to just hold back and not kill things. Of course, yeah, we're going to play our other Forerunner. And hopefully that's not going to be a big deal. We've got these lands to discard. We really don't need much more than 4. We'll give this critter haste. And attack with both. If our opponent wants to block with Liliana, I'm fine with that as well, though I don't think that will happen. We should be able to kill Lily between the twin bolts and our creatures on board. Our opponent may tick Liliana down to get the Gate Creeper back. I don't think they will, but they might. We will deal with Nissa as well. Blister Pod presents an issue, though. So, what are you going to do with Liliana? Get back Vine or make us discard? Get back Vine. Okay. So that's less of a problem now, though our opponent is accelerating. We can kill Liliana with Twin Bolt. Alright, let's play a mountain here. See how exactly I want to do this. Probably want to kill the Blister Pod as well. That does give a Scion, which sort of accelerates our opponent because it can be sacked for mana. And I have to kill Nissa. So, yeah, I think what we will do is we'll Twin Bolt, block that. And then we will also Twin Bolt and kill Nissa. So that's 2 Planeswalkers off the board. And then I think we do attack. We are probably going to lose one of these Forerunners to a zombie token here. Okay, yeah, our opponent commits to that. And we need to top deck some things besides land. A Read the Bones would be very, very good. Evo Leap. Well, that's unfortunate. It's card advantage for our opponent. And now they're going to sack our Forerunner of Slaughter. That's also very unfortunate. That's not to say that we're out of it yet. That's just to say that makes me very sad. Ooh, Smothering a Bomb. Okay. Ah, read the bones. Thank you very much. Alright, let's scry. I want the Firebird for sure. And I guess I really can't be picky about what creatures I get, so I'm going to take the Dominator Drone because we know that it is a threat. And otherwise I would be risking getting another land. Hopefully this Evo Leap is not going to just grind us out of the picture here. There's Smothering Abomination. So it can block our Firebird, but then it's not around to do its thing on upkeep. Be interesting to see what our opponent chooses to do. Yep, see, if we'd have bottomed our drone, we would have drawn another land. So I think we do play the Firebird. And we have lands to activate the landfall ability, so that's good. We'll confirm attack. It has to attack each turn. We don't have a choice about that. I honestly don't expect them to block, but you never know. Our opponent could block and sack Smothering Abomination to Evo Leap. And I'm pretty sure that they will get a card draw from that as well. I think it will see itself die and give them a card draw because it was sacrificed. So our opponent opts to get the card draw from sacrificing to the Abomination rather than going for the Evo Leap route. Alright. We both appear to perhaps be a little flooded. Unfortunately, the Evolutionary Leap on our opponent's side of the board is giving them a consistent access to non-mana creatures. Alright. So they're going to draw off of that. We have no choice. We have to do that one. Luckily, like I said before, we do have mana to trigger its landfall to come bring it back to play. So that's good. Reclamation Sage, okay. So, opponent develops a board. This is also a creature that Smothering Abomination can sack and draw some cards. So let's go ahead and get our landfall trigger. Yes, I want to pay that. That's fine. Right. I will attack. I'm also going to play the Thornbow Archer, I believe. Even though our opponent does have an elf, he's going to be sacrificing that. If we do manage to win this, it seems like it's going to be pretty close. A lot of card advantage in our opponent's deck. Alright. This guy can take over my elf, right? He can take a 2 power or less. Yeah. So we're getting our archer sacrificed now. That's sad as well. They opt not to swing with the Smothering Abomination. So they're going to get a creature from Evo Leap, a draw from that. Okay, I'm not too upset about Gatecreeper Vine. Even at 9 life, I would still love to draw another Read the Bones. Would really, really like it if they had put Painful Truths into the release of Battle for Zendikar on Duels, but unfortunately they didn't. There were some cards they did leave out, probably to go with the balance of what was available already on here. They deemed certain things to be just too powerful effects. Alright, we will go ahead and attack. And our opponent may block this time. They did leave Smothering Abomination back, and they will. Alright, so no sacrifice. So they did not get a draw from that. We are going to go ahead and bring back our Firebird right now. Yep. And pass the turn. I would like to have another colorless creature out to get the 2 life loss trigger from our Dominator Drone. Our bird can now block as well. It's one way to get around the has to attack every turn thing. And I will block. Kind of in a race here, and our Firebird can come back, so. Right. Trying to find a threat by sacking the Gate Creeper. Omnath is a pretty good threat. That's not very good for us. Especially if they have a land to play at the same time. Which Omnath costs 2 red, doesn't it? So they don't have the mana to play it. Need another red source. Alright. Well, let's play our mountain. We will pay and bring back our Firebird. That's fine. We have enough mana to play our Dominator Drone as well. Which would put us at lethal on board if our opponent cannot muster something to deal with it. But if we top deck another colorless creature, then it's lethal on cast the next turn. I think I'm going to play it. We still have a land in our hand to bring back our Firebird if our board gets wrathed. Or languished, as is, the case on Magic Duels. Well, there's the second red. So Omnath is coming down. Oh, Radiant Flames, okay. So they cannot cast Omnath this turn. Still got a lot of draws that just outright kill our opponent here. Dust Stalker. Well, not anymore, because they now have a blocker. Twin Bolt would do it. Another Dominator Drone. Alrighty, so let's bring back our bird. Yes. Okay, I will pay it. This time I'm going to hold on to the drone. I don't want to be blocking this guy, I don't think. I think I would much rather take the chance of drawing another colorless creature at this point, because the Dominator Drone at that instance would be lethal on its own, and the bird's lethal as well. Akoum Firebird is very, very good in this metagame, it seems. Every time I've drawn and played it, I've had good results. Been quite impressed. Right, so they're getting 2 tokens. Unfortunately, those tokens can't block my Firebird. If they can find some way to... Well, they can sack a token and deal 3 damage to it. So I'm guessing they did not have another basic to fetch. Otherwise, they would have 2 tokens out there. Yeah, we're dead. They can sack because it gets the trigger from Omnath dying as well, doesn't it? Yeah. So we're dead. So that was a close game, honestly. If I had made the choice to hold Dominator Drone instead of play it a couple of turns ago, we would have won that game. It's a rough decision. Sometimes you make the right one, sometimes you don't when it's that close. But let's go ahead and go to the next game. Okay, this is a bit more of an aggressive start here. We got Thornbow Archer into Forerunner into Vile Aggregate, or into a second Forerunner into Vile Aggregate. Vile Aggregate if we draw a 4th land, because we can give our second Forerunner haste. Let's go ahead and keep this. Go ahead and drop our Thornbow there. See what our opponent is up to. I like to play the, I was going to say, I like to play the Avatar guessing game. I was going to say with that one, I would imagine mono white or Boros, some iteration of a deck with white in it. There's no real reason to wait to play Forerunner. There's not much you can do with one white mana that would change between attacking and casting, so just to save a little bit of time, drop the Forerunner first. Get in there for 2 with our Archer. So yeah, Boros and Dragon Fodder. Okay. So our opponent can kill one of these, block both, or choose to block nothing. I would guess that they are going to kill our Forerunner, but we shall see. Go ahead and cast our other Forerunner. They can't kill both of them with what they have. We'll give this guy haste. And then we'll swing. And go ahead and trigger that for a point of life loss there. Our opponent indeed does not have an elf. So yeah, kill one of our Forerunners. Choose the order that blockers receive damage there. And we're off to a pretty good start here. Next turn I'll be able to drop Vile Aggregate and give it haste if our Forerunner survives. Double striker here. So we will not be swinging with our Forerunner or our elf this coming turn. 2 aggregates. That is really good. We could drop the Perilous Myr and swing with it, but it's not going to be blocked and it's just not going to get the job done. So we'll cast this and we'll swing with 2 with an ingest. I also do not expect it to be blocked, but it will at least not die if it is blocked. No, not with all. Almost made a mistake there. Confirm? And now we have a card ingested if we do draw one of our 2 Wasteland Stranglers, which would actually be a really, really good draw right now. We could take out this Erois' champion, or something else more threatening if they play that. Our opponent is playing Vile Aggregate as well, it seems. So, now they can kill one of my Vile Aggregates if they block with both, but I will also kill their Erois' champion. I'm going to drop our other Vile Aggregate, and I will give it haste. And our opponent has seen enough, it seems. We will swing with just those. Yeah, we want to kill the champion. Because we did not have enough damage to kill the aggregate. Next turn we will most likely be dropping Pia and Kiran. That will pump our aggregate +2. And we can attack with the rest of our creatures now. Well, we can at least attack with the Forerunner. It can trade with the Flaring Flamekin if our opponent wants that. Drop that land. And we will play Pia and Kiran. And we will give one of the Thopters haste. Go ahead and let you swing in with me, little buddy. Okay. I'm going to attack with all, but then I'm going to play... Well, let's see now. Our opponent blocks this with his aggregate and blocks our Forerunner with this. Then our opponent would take 3 damage. Yeah, I'm not willing to lose this guy for 2 damage at this point. Yeah, confirm. Do not mind losing this guy at the moment. As it stands, our Pia and Kiran are probably going to take over this game anyway. Skyhunter Skirmisher, we will kill that. And another Flaring Flamekin. So we will kill both of those with the Perilous Myr sacrifice to Pia and Kiran. Alright, go ahead and play this. Then we will sacrifice the Myr. Oh, no, cancel. Did that a little wrong. Was choosing to deal damage to it. We want to deal 2 to this guy. We will sack this one and deal its own individual damage to the Skirmisher. And then we will swing out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think we are 1 damage short of lethal right here. Yeah, we are. Okay. Goblin Warpaint. Okay, that's not going to get the job done, I'm afraid. And that should be it. Our opponent has no cards in hand and nothing on the field that's going to do anything. Aw. Bye-bye, Pia and Kiran. At least one of your incarnations is out here. We'll continue and swing for the win. Alright. Let's see what Game 3 has in store for us. I'm not really happy with this hand. I don't think I can hold on to it. It's just too slow. We'll draw a new hand. Our opponent did mulligan to 6, so that's good. This is much better. I will definitely keep this. Would love to have a Forerunner to drop on turn 2. But you can't always get that. Alright, well there's a Perilous Myr for turn 2. So we are going to curve out here. Not as aggressive as last game, but still much better than our first encounter in this session. At some point we do want to draw a 4th mana. Well, a 4th red, a 2nd red. Alright. Well, there's not really much that you can do with 1 blue either. At instant speed at least. So we're going to go ahead and cast our Perilous Myr. And then we'll swing with our Sludge Crawler. Just making sure I had the name correct there. Sometimes I do get cards confused or mispronounce their names. Yeah, I figured that there would be sacking Evolving Wilds there. Clutch of Currents, which could bounce our creature, is a sorcery. So is our opponent mono blue? What is this? What did we ingest? No, blue-green. So they must already have a green source in hand. We're going to see a Pilgrimage here. This looks like it's probably a ramp deck, as evinced by the Nissa's Pilgrimage there. So we need to try to get this job done quickly before they can establish their big mana and start dropping Eldrazi on us. Okay. So it is appearing that they are not playing a 3rd color. I think we definitely swing first here. Threaten to pump the Sludge Crawler. I don't know that it will make that big a difference. But I do expect them to block the Myr instead of the Crawler. And they didn't. So they want me to pump it. Well, I'm not going to, because I want to drop... I guess I'll go with Vile Aggregate first. I can play Dominator Drone next turn and get the pump on this, as well as its life loss trigger. What are we doing on 4 mana, my friend? Nice to have the Read the Bones as well for when we run a little bit lower on gas here. Yeah, Pilgrimage. So there goes Ramp. Opponent will be at 6 mana next turn. They can cast Oblivion Sower. I actually think I just want to play Pia and Kiran to get a double, to get my aggregate bigger here. Since our opponent has not shown us a color that can actually sweep the board, I'm pretty inclined to just flood it. We will attack with all. Thank you, Vile Aggregate, for being trample. So this time they will block the Sludge Crawler. I'm not having... Well, they did as well last time, which I don't have the mana to pump even now. What did we ingest? That looks like a... Yeah, Claustrophobia, blue tap down enchantment. Well, there's an Outland Colossus. I'm not super bothered by it, honestly. Our opponent's at 12. And we can play Dominator Drone here. That'll take them to 10. We can play Sludge Crawler. And those two out will make our aggregate a 7/5. Then we can probably swing with everything except for Pia and Kiran. I want them to stick around to be able to sack artifacts. And they will probably trade that Colossus for our aggregate. I think that's the play. So we'll play Dominator Drone. And then we'll play a Sludge Crawler. And even with them trading, we're going to trample over for 1. Say attack with all, but I want to hold Pia and Kiran back. Of course, if they don't block this with that, then they're just dead. Absorb 2 damage there, that's 5. Say they block here. 5, 6, 7, 8. That would take them to 2. And then Pia and Kiran would kill them. So we'll swing with Pia and Kiran. Because they absolutely have to block aggregate. Yeah, you're going to die if you block that way. And you... Okay, well... Sometimes you get given little gifts, I suppose. We can't keep this. I'm not super happy about this, but I'm going to keep it. Would love to have one of our 1-drops, but that's not the case here. We could top deck it as we're on the draw. We did not. I'm going to go ahead and play the Marsh. Since we don't have a turn 1-drop, that means we can play another duel. On turn 2, Dragonskull Summit will come into play untapped because the Marsh has mountain and swamp land types on it. Go ahead and drop Perilous Myr. So we're probably again facing a ramp type of deck here. Usually the red-green Gruul colors there indicate ramp. Though sometimes it's just monsters with Curd Chieftain and such, but it does look like it is ramp. Nessus Pilgrimage was played. I think I'm going to play the Forerunner. Then I can play the Dominator next turn and give it haste. You generally also do want to play Dominator Drone before attacking. Just in case, especially if you have a low number of colorless creatures out. That way you are more likely to get the 2 life loss from it. So that if your creatures die in combat, or if they have a combat trick such as Gideon's Reproach or Celestial Flare, that would remove your colorless creature. And then you wouldn't be able to get the trigger from Dominator Drone. So our opponent is ramping hard. They're going to go up to 6 here. They'll have 7 next turn. There's a lot of stuff you can play on 7 mana. Wasteland Strangler is nice. With the Dominator Drone, we are going to have Ingest. We may lose our Forerunner of Slaughter with this on the stack here. But we did not, so we can give it Haste. Which we will do. And get in there for 7. So now we have a card ingested. Our Wasteland Strangler, if I could English a little bit, is online. So there's Omnath, but without a land drop. We may be able to kill Omnath here. No, we're just going to kill our opponent because we can give our Strangler haste. And so, Wasteland Strangler. We will go ahead and do it because we can. Sure. Confirm. And give it haste. Now they can block one of our 3 power creatures, but it doesn't matter because 7 will get through. That was a rather brutal game. Since these have been going so quickly, I think we'll go ahead and try to squeeze in one more game here before the end of the video. This is an awkward hand. We have Strangler but no Ingester. Perilous Myr's not a super aggressive guy. We do have Read the Bones. I think I need to mulligan this. Oh god, that's horrible. Okay, I'll keep this. I prefer 2 Perilous Myrs, so I think this is a bit better than our first 7 was. Especially if we draw a 3rd mana source for our Read the Bones here. And we did. So we'll drop our Perilous Myr. Our opponent has shown us blue-white thus far. Maybe blue-white. There's a lot of blue-white builds, actually. There's Tempo, Control. Could be Esper, though, or something, or Bant. I've seen a lot of Bant here lately. I will attack before doing anything else. And I think instead of playing a Perilous Myr here, I think I want to Read the Bones. Especially since our opponent could be holding up horribly awry. I want both of these, so we'll put them both on top. Confirm. It's going to be a lot of card advantage over the next few turns with a second Read the Bones there. And I suppose we will risk... I think I'm going to go with double Perilous Myr instead of Dominator Drone. That will use our mana the most efficiently. And it does seem that our opponent is playing a control build of some sort. We may get this second one horribly awry. Yeah. That's what I thought. They do not want the 3rd Perilous Myr to be on the board. Don't blame them. Now we're in the territory of Spell Shrivel and Scatter to the Winds. So we have to worry about that. Go ahead and swing. Unfortunately, we've not got a terribly fast clock on our opponent at this point. And so I think I do have to risk playing a Dominator Drone into untapped mana here. I believe it's going to be countered. Fully expect that. But I just can't afford at this juncture to give them... Oh, it's not. Nice. So they didn't have a counterspell. Either that or they're planning on untapping and planar outbursting. So I wouldn't actually be too upset at that seeing as how we have Pia and Kiran in our hand, we can just go ahead and flood the board back out immediately. Tragic Arrogance, which is actually not as good as Pia and Kiran. Or not Pia Kiran, but not as good as Planar Outburst. So they may be playing for sort of wrath effects here. Alright. Well, there's no reason not to, so I'll go ahead and play out Pia and Kiran and then swing. Our opponent's tapped out. Nothing they can really do about it at this point. There we go. And now after a Tragic Arrogance, we again have a significant board presence. It will be rather unfortunate if we get swept again here. Land, drop, and think, huh? Still 6 cards in your hand. You've only played 3 so far. Counter, draw, and Tragic Arrogance. What do you have? Pretty sure if you had a board wipe, you would just play it. Okay, Angelic Edict on Pia and Kiran? No, on the Perilous Myr. Okay. Hello, Dust Stalker. So that's 9 damage. Which puts us within range of twin bolting our opponent to death. And our opponent decides that they do not have an answer. I didn't suspect they did. Even if they had played a land and wiped the board, leaving up 2, there's not really a 2-mana spell in this format that can counter a twin bolt. So there you go, folks. This is a pretty vicious little deck here. Well, that will be it for this episode of Friday Night Magic. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please leave a like below. It really does help. Consider subscribing to the channel to be updated and notified whenever I upload content. And until next time, friends, be excellent to each other.